Your person is deeply saddened by the lack of contact between you two in recent months. The silence between you has grown heavy, filling the spaces that were once occupied by laughter, shared stories, and quiet moments of connection. During this time apart, they've been left alone with their thoughts, forced to face truths they once avoided. With no distractions left to shield them, they began to reflect deeply on their actions and behavior, and that reflection has been sobering. They've come to the painful realization that they had been selfish, often centering their own wants and desires while disregarding yours. They now see that for far too long, the relationship revolved around what they needed, what made them comfortable, what suited their emotional rhythm, without equal concern for your needs or your feelings. What may have seemed like indifference, neglect, or emotional distance was not a lack of love, but rather a blindness born from self-absorption. They were trapped in their own perspective, unable to see beyond their ego, and it cost them something they now recognize as irreplaceable. Losing you has been the wake-up call they never wanted but so desperately needed. Only through your absence did they begin to comprehend the depth of the emotional pain they caused you. Now, that understanding weighs on them daily, like an ache that doesn't fade. They look back and realize how often you showed up for them, how you were there, patient and present, even when they gave you so little in return. You offered love, stability, and warmth, while they offered inconsistency and distraction. You poured your energy into nurturing the bond, while they were only half there, physically present but emotionally detached. It was not because they didn't care, it was because they didn't know how to see or value something so pure. In hindsight, they see how deeply you must have felt alone, how your efforts to keep the relationship alive were met with indifference or coldness. That realization cuts deep. The imbalance they created left you feeling unseen, isolated, and unappreciated. They now know that they pushed you away, not because you did anything wrong, but because of their own internal flaws, their inability to love properly, to give what they were receiving. Since the separation, they've noticed subtle yet powerful changes in your energy. There's a calm strength about you now, a glow that comes from peace rather than pain. And this shift has made them see you in an entirely new light. They no longer see just your outer beauty, though that still captivates them. They see something much deeper, your nurturing spirit, your quiet resilience, your ability to give love selflessly without expecting anything in return. These were the very qualities that once made them feel safe and cared for, though they never truly appreciated them. Now, when they think of you, they realize how those same traits made you one of the rarest people they've ever met. You didn't love to be loved back, you loved because it was who you were. And now, in your absence, that truth resonates with them in a way it never did before. This awareness has filled them with shame and regret. They feel embarrassed by how they treated you, how they overlooked the little things you did, how they dismissed your affection, how they took your loyalty as something guaranteed. You showered them with attention, you made them a priority, and instead of matching your devotion, they coasted through, assuming your love would always be there. Now, as they look back, regret hits them with force. They see every missed opportunity, every moment they could have chosen kindness over pride, understanding over impatience. The separation has forced them to confront an unbearable truth: they lost something extraordinary, and it was entirely their fault. They miss you, not just the comfort of your presence, but the way you made them feel grounded, seen, and loved. You brought warmth into their life, a sense of belonging they hadn't known before. Now, that warmth is gone, replaced by a hollow ache that nothing else seems to fill. They understand now that the saying is true: people rarely realize the value of something until it's gone. Losing you wasn't bad luck, it was the direct consequence of their own carelessness. As they've reflected, they've also come to see the deeper reasons behind their behavior. Much of what they did, pulling away, being distant, acting indifferent, was not driven by malice but by fear and insecurity. Their pride became a shield, protecting them from vulnerability but also keeping them from truly connecting with you. They can see now that their ego, their need to feel in control, and their inability to express genuine emotion built a wall between you. That wall may have felt safe to them at the time, but it ultimately destroyed what mattered most. This realization fills them not only with guilt but also with humility. They see that the relationship could have been so much more, richer, deeper, and more fulfilling, if only they had allowed themselves to be honest, open, and emotionally present. One of the hardest truths for them to accept is how they made you feel, jealous, uncertain, and not enough, when all you ever did was love them completely. They know now that it was unfair, even cruel, to make you doubt yourself, to plant seeds of insecurity in someone who gave them nothing but loyalty and care. That awareness haunts them. The shame they carry is something they live with every day. They replay memories in their mind, moments where they could have chosen tenderness over detachment, and each recollection deepens the regret. They know they can't undo the past, but they also understand that growth means taking accountability. Deep down, they know they still have a long road ahead. The wounds they inflicted won't heal overnight, and your trust, if it can ever be regained, will take time, patience, and consistent effort. But what weighs most heavily on their heart now is their desire to make things right. They don't want to apologize just with words, they want to show you, through actions, that they've changed. They want to prove that the lessons learned during this painful separation have not been in vain. They want you to see that they now value you in a way they never did before. They miss you more than they can say. Every quiet night, every small reminder, a song, a scent, a phrase, brings your memory flooding back. And with each reminder comes the same truth: they still love you, perhaps now more deeply and consciously than ever before. Their journey towards self-awareness has not been easy. They've admitted to themselves that much of their behavior stemmed from an internal void. For so long, they were consumed by the need to fit in, to be admired, to live up to an image. That constant pressure drained them emotionally and mentally. Eventually, they learned that the only person they could truly rely on was themselves, and this realization turned into an obsession with self-sufficiency. What began as a pursuit of self-improvement slowly transformed into isolation. As life's pressures mounted, they began using small indulgences as coping mechanisms. At first, these moments of escape seemed harmless, a distraction, a brief reprieve from the demands of life. But over time, those indulgences became habits, and the habits evolved into addictions, patterns they could no longer control. What was once a comfort became a cage. They found themselves stuck in a cycle they couldn't escape, numbing their pain rather than healing it. There were days when they desperately wanted to change, to break free, but the grip of routine and dependency was too strong. Eventually, those patterns became part of who they were. They felt trapped in their own life, constantly searching for meaning in fleeting pleasures. And though they surrounded themselves with people and noise, they felt deeply, painfully alone. They had invested so much energy into being liked, admired, and accepted that they completely lost sight of who they truly were. Then, everything shifted when they met you. You entered their life quietly, without pretense or expectation, and yet your presence changed everything. You were different, simple, grounded, and real in a way that stood out against the superficiality they were used to. You didn't crave attention or validation. You carried yourself with a quiet confidence that was both disarming and magnetic. You lived authentically, focused on what truly mattered, and that captivated them more than anything. To them, you were like a breath of fresh air in a suffocating world. Your peace, your independence, and your refusal to conform were intoxicating. In your company, they began to see themselves with new eyes. Your calmness exposed their chaos, your sincerity revealed their falseness. It was uncomfortable, even painful, to face those truths, but it was necessary. You didn't try to change them, you simply lived your truth, and that truth illuminated everything they'd been doing wrong. Watching you live so freely made them realize how constrained they had become by their own habits and insecurities. You made them see that happiness wasn't found in distraction or indulgence but in self-respect, balance, and genuine connection. The more they observed you, the more they understood how deeply they had lost touch with themselves. You awakened in them a desire to change, not for anyone else, but for themselves. You became the quiet catalyst that inspired transformation. For that, they will always be grateful, no matter what happens. Now, your person is no longer content with being just friends. The time apart has clarified what their heart has always known: they want more. What they feel for you is not a passing desire or nostalgia, it is a deep, unwavering determination to rebuild something real. This time, they are not playing games or acting out of loneliness. They are serious. Every reflection, every sleepless night, every moment of regret has led them to one undeniable truth: they want a lasting, meaningful relationship with you. You are not just someone they miss, you have become the center of their emotional world. The thought of you with someone else is unbearable, not because of jealousy, but because they've finally realized how much you mean to them. They've spent countless hours revisiting memories, the laughter you shared, the quiet moments of understanding, the subtle ways you showed love, and each recollection deepens their conviction. These aren't just memories now, they are reminders of something rare and sacred. Through this period of self-reflection, they've also come to terms with their past wounds. Old traumas, unresolved pain, and emotional baggage had been weighing them down for years, preventing them from being the partner they wanted to be. For the first time, they've faced those shadows head-on. The process has been difficult, but it has taught them that healing is not optional, it's essential. They've done the inner work, and though they are still growing, they now possess a new level of emotional maturity and empathy. This growth has also changed how they see love. They no longer view relationships as a means of comfort or validation, but as a sacred partnership built on understanding, communication, and mutual respect. They are ready now, truly ready, to give what they once couldn't. They want to build a future with you, one grounded in stability, honesty, and emotional intimacy. Your silence, though painful for them, has been their greatest teacher. It has forced them to listen, to really listen, to the lessons their heart was trying to teach. The emptiness left by your absence became a mirror reflecting their mistakes, their fears, and their longing. It made them realize how much they took for granted, and how deeply they still care. Now, they can no longer hold back. The urge to reach out, to speak their truth, grows stronger every day. They know they must approach with humility, not expectation. Their intention is no longer to win you back through words, but to show through action and consistency that they have changed. This time, their desire to be with you comes not from neediness or regret, but from love and clarity. They have grown. They have learned empathy, not just for you, but for everyone around them. They now understand that true love means understanding, not possession, giving, not taking. They want to be the partner you always deserved, the one who listens, supports, and nurtures rather than withdraws and wounds. Their words now are not empty promises but heartfelt commitments. They want to build something real with you, something that endures. They know it will take time, effort, and patience, but they are ready. They finally see you not just as the person they lost, but as the person they want to grow with, cherish, and protect. Above all, They understand now that real love isn't found in grand gestures or fleeting passion, it's built in consistency, compassion, and truth. And for the first time in their life, they are ready to live that truth with you.